I can fly twice as high. Let's take a look. It's in a book, the Ef'n Sunny Show. If you don't know about Eliza Garza, she's one of the hottest children's book authors right now in the Valley, right?
I'm not sure how that happened. I mean, if you say so.
Now, you were number one on the Amazon children's books,
Children's,
right?
Yes, for Hispanic and Latino books for children.
And how does that happen?
I guess when I wrote this story, I thought it was based off of a memory with my grandpa, Raspas con mi grandpa. And here I was thinking that I was writing about my life as a child. But when the news covered it and posted it, it ended up being everyone else's story too. And people could relate with their grandfathers or their grandmothers. This is what they would do to connect as a family, is go and get treats together, go and get raspas. And so then people just started buying it and doing it really quickly and in large quantities, I guess. So that's how number one happened.
So raspas con my grandpa. So in Anglo-Saxon terms, it's like snow cones with my grandfather, right?
Yeah.
and why did you choose to use the term raspas opposed to snow cones?
That's a good question. So the word raspa is very much RGV, very much Valley, and that's all this book is. It's very puro 956. And I wanted to make sure that that was showcased and really highlighted on the cover in the title of the story. And I wanted to show off the Spanglish too, which is why it's a mix of languages.
So can you tell our viewers a little bit about what is this children's book basically about?
So it's about a little boy's adventure with his grandfather. He's anticipating a snow cone date with his grandpa after school, and they go and get a raspa together and make a memory.
What made you want to write this story and then say, you know what, I have this story and now I can sell it, basically?
Well, I think it was really important for me to empower the child to embrace who they are, where they come from, so that they can be prouder versions of themselves. Growing up, I was always very embarrassed to speak Spanish because I kept hearing, así no se dice parquear, se dice estacionar. Así no se dice lonche, se dice almuerzo. And as a kid, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to speak my language, so I'm just not going to speak it at all. So I started to disassociate from Spanish, and I started to Americanize myself more and more. It wasn't until I was an adult and I started to embrace who I was fully that I started to see that our culture is beautiful and that it's not something to be embarrassed about or to shy away from, that we can embrace it. And it makes us more authentic human beings. And when we live authentically, we tap into awesome things that humans like to find, like purpose, destiny, fate.
Yeah.
And if I could plant the seed in the child early, then they too could become that and discover that within themselves.
And I have to ask, why did you decide to do the raspas with my grandpa opposed to raspas with my grandma?
My grandpa Chavez was my best friend. He was a bonus father that I had in my life, and him and I made so many memories growing up, and he's just really special to me. So is my grandmother, which is why the next book is about her, and I'll tell you about that one later, I guess.
And so I come across a lot of people that always tell me, like, oh, I'm going to write a book, my book's in the works, blah, blah. Very few people actually go out and make a book and then sell it. What was your process in bringing your book to the market?
Pressure. It was pain and pressure that birthed my purpose. I was in a really low slump in my life, and I was going through a lot of things professionally that were hurting me. And I thought that there was a chance that I could lose everything. And if I did, then I had a plan B, and I knew I could do this. I had always wanted to write children's books, and I was just like, I can do it. And within 45 minutes, the book just fell out of me onto the computer, and I had it written. And then once I had it, I was like, oh my God, like, it's here. What do I do? And I ended up getting an illustrator, and everything just evolved and snowballed from there.
Wow. So what's that saying where, like, lightning, like in a bottle, like when people get that flash of genius. So that's kind of like what happened. It just hit you. like all of a sudden?
Yeah, it hit me. And well, I'm really passionate about our culture and about snow cones, about my grandpa and my memories. I mean, it all just kind of culminated and came together. And so, yeah.
And what advice can you give to like other people that want to write a book?
I would say don't get caught up in all of the steps, because then you go into analysis paralysis and you're like, oh my God, it's going to take me forever. Like, just put the pen to paper or put your fingers to your keyboard and just start fleshing out something. Just start writing out your thoughts. And the more you do that, the more you're going to see that it comes together and you're actually going to have something with substance, something that has value. But you just have to just do it, as cliche as that sounds.
Now, obviously you created the story, but then you had to get it like illustrated too, right? Mm-hmm. How did that come about?
Well, my friend John, who was the president of the South Texas Coalition at the time, he actually connected me to an illustrator that was a friend of his, and he said she's local, she's never done a book before, this is very bucket list for her. If you want to give her a shot, meet up with her, see if you guys connect. We did, and we hit it off, and I liked her art style, I liked her attitude. She understood the passion and the vision behind the story. When she would bring me sketches, I'm like, yeah, you get it, like that's what I want, you know. And she also sketched out my characters. They were based on real people, so I liked that as well. And that's how I found a local illustrator, which was really important to me because the book is very 956.
If you go up north, right, mm-hmm. your average person can tell you, I remember when I would drink coffee with my mom or dad, or drink coffee with my grandpa.
Yes.
But down here though, like we really don't have a lot of that. We have Raspas stands like on every block, and I think everyone has a memory of eating that like raspa and like talking to like a family member, and that's something your book incorporates, right? And like mm-hmm. draws off of. Yeah,
it was a mix of, hey, we just skipped school. We skipped school at Mac High to go to the Youngs across the street and get ourselves a raspa real quick. Or I went with my cousins in the summer. We were at, the local snow cone stand and getting ourselves a raspa, to getting it with my grandpa. When I was writing the book, I was thinking of all the memories I had made with an ice cold treat in sunny South Texas, and it kind of just came together that way.
That's like so crazy that we remember the name of the snow cone stands when we were little.
Yes.
Young snow cone stand on 23rd, there, right? Yeah. Still there.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
I autographed books for them. I gave it to them because I told them I was thinking of you when I was writing the book.
Yes, the Eric special.
Yeah.
They know you're legit if you show up and you ask for the Eric special. It's not even on the menu. They're like, whoa.
It's their secret menu.
The secret menu, yeah. And I also think that your book's becoming more relevant. I mean, sadly, because of global warming, right? I mean, we do have to face it. It is getting hot, like hotter, and if you grew up on the low income spectrum, mm-hmm. Raspas were kind of like your air conditioning, right?
Yeah,
right. They're
absolutely. That was the amazing thing, is that a lot of people were sending me pictures of their grandfather shaving the ice on a cart in the 1930s, like black and white photos of like, raspas have been in my family, like we eat them and we've made them, and it just like these amazing memories with their grandparents. Either they had a business and they were the local raspa stand in the neighborhood, or they actually made a business out of it and they would kind of just go on a little cart down the street and sell them that way, or they would just go pick one up with their grandparent and enjoy it as a family. But yeah, everybody has their raspa story.
Yeah. What do you call someone that makes like snow cones? Like, what's their name?
A raspa artist, a raspero, I don't know.
A raspero. Yes, you heard it here first. A raspero. So what's this other book that you brought with you today?
So this is a calming coloring book. It's called Shades of Serenity, and I collaborated with another local author, Derek Armstrong. He's a USA Today bestseller and a former intelligence analyst. And we put this together because we have both used coloring as a tool for meditating. So science says that when you color, you relax the fear center of your brain and you induce a meditative state naturally. And when you look at animals, you decrease your stress levels naturally. So we put those two things together in a coloring book, and it makes for a really good combating anxiety tool.
And if people want to buy your book, like purchase it, buy more of your upcoming books, where can they find it at?
Amazon, and Barnes and Noble and Target. Shades of Serenity only on Amazon though, but the rest of the books will be on the other platforms as well.
In your book, I mean, as a child, I would rather read that than like Where the Wild Things Are, to tell you the truth. As a kid, you don't relate to where the wild things are. You're like
and I mean, yes, I would too, especially if I'm visiting your school, because we end in a snow cone party and we make a memory just like the book.
It's like that, yeah. Yeah, you see, you relate to it, but like the like where the wild things are, the mom's tucking him like into bed. I'm like, my mom's working 2 shifts. Like
You couldn't relate.
Couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
But your book though, it's so relatable, and especially the role that grandparents have with their grandchildren. Because I see it now that sadly both parents have to work so much that the grandparents are now like stepping up and they're raising their kids and creating memories.
Yeah, I get emails, messages all the time from parents that are saying, Ms. Garza, today you visited my son or my daughter's school and my child came home and the first thing they wanted to do was call their abuelo or their abuela. And they said, can we go make a memory together? Can you take me to go get a raspa? And they're the ones initiating the connection, and they're doing it without cell phones. They want to sit across a table and talk and make a memory just like the book. For me, that is absolutely incredible for this generation to take initiative to do that without electronics.
Yeah. Well, Eliza, thank you very much for joining us. We hope the best for you and your book, and we know that you're going to do just great things.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I do want to mention that if you do follow me, keep an eye out for my financial literacy app. It's called Adventure in a Cup, and it teaches the children the principles of money management, entrepreneurship, and goal setting. And then they get to apply those principles by manning their own raspa stand for a day. So if anyone's interested, they can shoot me a message and I'll give them more information.
Awesome. Thank you, Eliza.
Thank you.